Hi, this is Kim from Made by Mommy, and in honor of Mother's Day this year, I thought I should show you how to make this really cute mom tag that she can use for a keychain or to attach to the side of her bag, whatever she'd like. It's mom on one side and wow on the other. I know the Alpha Loom isn't available everywhere yet, so I'm going to show you how to do it on the regular Rainbow Loom too. The first step, if you're using a regular Rainbow Loom, is to set up just 2 rows, and you're going to work on the design the same way you would on the Alpha Loom, leaving a hole in the center of 2, so that's why I've spaced apart the 2 blue pieces so that as I work, the design can be pulled through the bottom. When you're using a regular loom, instead of being able to hook over all of these bands at once like you would on the Alpha Loom, you would simply do your design so you have your cross band that goes in the middle, and then you'd bring each of these over one at a time on each side. Now if you're using alpha bands, you put them on straight. What I've done here is use regular rubber bands that I've simply doubled over. Slide that down, and then I would add the next row in my design. So that's how you would work on the regular loom. I'm gonna actually make this whole design from the beginning using the Alpha Loom. But this way you know how to translate it if you don't yet have the Alpha Loom. We're only gonna use 6 of the pegs on the Alpha Loom for this design. I'm going to use my regular Rainbow Loom brand opaque rubber bands, which means I'm going to have to double them over. And for the first row, I'll also have to twist to make the shape of an X. Now I'm going to reverse the colors on this one and make the background pink and the letters black. But the first row of 6 are all the same color, whatever color you want your background to be. Single rubber band doubled over, and then twisted to make the X. And I've learned since my first Alpha Loom video that you don't have to do this twisting step past the first row. You can if you want, if you like the look of it, but it isn't required. And when you're working with these regular rubber bands, not having that extra step of twisting saves your fingers a little bit of pain. So there's my 6 rows. I'm skipping the 7th, and I'm ready to put on the band that will connect all of these rows together, which you can stretch across all 6 pegs. Doesn't matter which side you go on because it's going to go in the middle anyway. And you'll see these are actually really important rubber bands. On this sample that I did, I have those bands across all of them except right here. And you can see it makes a little bump on the side. So don't forget these connector bands. They are important. And now our second row is also going to be the background color. This time we're doubling over and stretching across, but not twisting. So double over, stretch across, without a twist. So those are the first 2 rows in my design, all solid pink because it's background color. Now I'm going to bring the connector band up and over all of the pegs so that it's in the center. And then I'm ready to use my comb to bring the bottom bands up and over all at once, which is the glory of the Alpha Loom. You don't have to do them one at a time like you would on the regular loom. And the other side, up and over all of those pegs. And then push down, and you're ready to start the next row. Keeping the dot at the bottom so that your letters stay in the right order. And then looking at your chart, so my third row is 1 background color, followed by 4 of the color I want the letter to be, and then 1 more of the background color. But first, the connector band that goes all the way across. Then you can add your next row of bands, doubling over, but no need to twist. So that was my background color. Switching now to the color I want my letters to be. So that was 4 in the color of the letter, and then 1 in the color of my background. Now bring the connector band up and over to the center, and it's time again to use your comb to get all those bands at once. And something I also learned between my first time using this tool and now is that it's a lot easier if you aim the hooks down and catch them like this. When I did it before, I was holding them this way, and it was a lot trickier. So, learn from my mistakes. When you get your Alpha Loom, put your hooks downward and then bring it up and over all of those pegs on both sides. Push it down and add your connector band. It goes across all of the pegs. And look at your chart to know what order you need to put the colors on next. For me now, it's 2 background colors, then 1 of the letter, and then 3 of the background color. Like that. Take your connector band to the center, and once again, bring your 5 bands up and over on both sides. Missed one here. It's okay, just go back for it. Connector band. And look at the chart. And for this third position, it's 3 of the background color, then 1 of the color of the letter, followed by 2 of the background color. Bring your connector band up and over, and then hook all of your bands and bring them up. Then continue on following the pattern over and over again the same way. So I've continued on down the pattern, and I'm on my last row, adding that 1 connector band now, and then in each of the 6 positions I'm going to put a doubled over rubber band of the background color. And I have to say, as I promised, this is a demonstration of me using the regular loom bands instead of the Alpha Loom bands to see how those work out. And they are working out just fine in terms of the result. But my finger hurts. Each time I twist this, it gets so tight around my finger, and I'm rubbing on the same spot over and over, and my finger's getting sore from it. So I've got to say that if you're planning to make lots of these Alpha Loom designs, and you're planning to make bracelets especially, which are twice as long as this charm I'm making now, it's really worth getting the Alpha Loom bands to protect the skin on your fingers. So this is the last row. Once again, taking that connector band, putting it in the center, using my hook on both sides to connect the 5 bands at the bottom and bring them up, and on the other side as well, hooking each of those and bringing them up and over and pushing down, because we're now ready to seal off our mom charm. What we're going to do is we're going to bring each of the pairs of rubber bands together. I'm going to use a regular hook for this. I don't trust my coordination enough to use the comb to do this. So I'm bringing both bands onto the same side. So the Rainbow Loom instruction guide would have you put C-clips in each of these positions. I'm not a fan of using that many C-clips. I find that they end up popping off. So instead, what I'm going to do is connect these all together and end with a slip knot on the last position. So I'm going to take the bottom band from this side, bring it up through, and then over onto the next peg. This last one is secure. And again, coming in on this position, underneath the top bands, catching that bottom one, bringing it through the center and over to the next peg. And now my second row is secure. Keep on moving along down the chain one at a time, catching the bottom two loops, bringing them through the center of those top two, and coming over to the side again. And we're on our last peg, and once again, take those bottom two and bring them up the center. And now you can pop the whole design off of the loom, and you'll see, wow, this is all secure. Mom's gonna love it. And with these last two bands, I like to add another single rubber band that I slide through, take both sides onto my hook, and create a slip knot, pulling this side through that side, like that, so that Mom has something longer to use to connect it if you want it to be connected from the corner. I actually prefer the look when the chain comes out the center. So what I'm going to do is bring my hook through these two loops here and the two loops there, like that. Hook the single band that I just added on and pull it through each of those, like that. And then your connector loop is in the center of the design. Wow. Good job, Mom. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up below. And the best way to thank me is to share my videos with a friend. I really appreciate all of you for coming to watch, and I look forward to looming with you again soon. Bye-bye.